Rufai, you were advocating for, for videos, yes, for whatever people, bystanders could have, recorded with their phones. So videos came out.
And it showed that obviously lots of people listen and watch Arise News. And videos came out, and I was shell-shocked at what I saw. So, like yesterday, I was positive what Donald Rumsfeld said, from known to unknown. So what do I know today? Now I know that there was a flask, because I saw it in the video. In fact, it was a gold-colored flask. I know there was a flask. The content in the flask, I don't know. Secondly, I know that K1 had an altercation with people around the plane, and while the pilot was trying to taxi the plane, K1 kept on moving in front of the plane. That's wrong. 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 Who do you think you are, mister? Who do you think you are? To stay in front of a plane. You were provoking the pilot deliberately. It's wrong because it didn't go your way. You didn't get on board the plane. You didn't listen to the rules and regulation. You were deplaned. Then you stood in front of the plane. The plane will not go. Is this Mushin bus stop? No, it's a tarmac. Totally wrong. The pilot too was also wrong. Whatever the case might be, out of provocation, you hold people's lives in your hands. Despite the fact that you people were there, you attempted to move, that they had to dock under the plane. That was equally wrong. But for what I saw yesterday, it doesn't put K1 in any glory. And please, the assertion is spokesperson is trying to push that because the owner of the jet, the airline called him and everything. No. The owner of the jet will normally try to placate things. Does not mean that you were totally right, because the owner of the jet was not there. I'm sure if he saw this video, he will not be happy with K1. So it is totally wrong. So all the aspersions they cast on K1 yesterday, I totally support it. What he did was totally wrong, and I'm happy Festus Keyamo have put his big stick on the ground. They're going to investigate. In fact, NCA said they've petitioned the Attorney General of the Federation. They've petitioned all those necessary. They've put him on a no-fly list for 6 months. Nobody should pick him up. I don't know if that applies to private jets, but even private jet operators too should watch it. We must not condone such a thing in the country. What is bad is bad. It has no more than one name. It's bad.
The most basic thing in aviation is security, is safety. I think it was shocking yesterday that we had the news that King Wasiu Ayinde Marshal Anifuoshe, popularly known as Kwam One, found himself in a situation whereby he had to be engaging the flight authorities with regard to the fact that he was carrying a plastic container, which they said was containing liquid above the limit. The nature of that liquid, even Keyamo, the Minister of Aviation himself, says it doesn't matter. But rules are rules. Now, he refused to drop that flask. He insisted on carrying it onto the flight. That led into an altercation with the pilot, the captain of the flight, who said that flask must be dropped. He refused. The pilot insisted on his being ejected from the flight, upon which he decided to go and stand in front of the aircraft to say that the aircraft would not move. And the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development has provided video evidence to that effect, that he was trying to obstruct the flight. What Festus Keyamo, the minister, described as a hostage situation. So one, according to aviation rules, safety is important. No person who is flying has the right to jeopardize the interest, the safety, the security of the aircraft itself, and also of all passengers and crew members on board. Two, the minister went a step further to say, however, if the passenger misbehaves in this manner, the pilot also should not have said, oh, I will run the flight, and then you have a passenger running and blocking up and down. And that in itself is something that is totally unacceptable, as Festus Keyamo put it. So this is the background. Now, how was the matter treated The pilot was now placed on suspension. Our license was suspended. And then Keyamo came in after reviewing the evidence provided by the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority and said, no, both parties are wrong. Captain Oluranti Ogoyi has no right to say she will fly while there was a passenger standing in front trying to hold the flight hostage, and in fact, by extension, trying to commit suicide. And that the other party should also be punished. And it is on the basis of that that the minister directed that Quam 1 should be placed on a no-flight suspension for 6 months. So, having established the background and the facts of the case, my opinion is that the minister acted well by preventing a situation whereby the big man syndrome prevailed, because it was the pilot that was first sanctioned, saying we are suspending your license. The minister now said, no, the passenger also behaved very badly. You know, in this country, we have what is called the big man syndrome. If you are a big man, you can get away with anything. The same Quam 1 who was fighting at the airport would not have done that in the US. He would not have done it in the UK. In fact, he would have been arrested on the spot and thrown into detention for sabotaging and posing a threat to the lives of other passengers and for blocking aviation operations. So Nigerians first have to learn the lesson about big manism. ValueJet is owned by an Ijebu man. Now, Quam 1 is the Olori Omoba Akile Ijebu, you know, a very prominent Ijebu chieftain. He should realize that the Ijebu kingdom does not exist, does not extend to the Murtala Mohammed Airport. No, that's an empirical fact.
No, I take exception.
No, it's an empirical fact. It does not extend. This is federal government territory. You don't go there and overrule federal authority because you are a chieftain of a kingdom within the sovereignty of Nigeria. The third point is that some people have also read, you know, gender relations into it. A Kwama saying, I'm a big man, who the hell are you? Pilot. But you see, that's the space of the pilot. And that's why I think that Rontilicious, as she's otherwise called, you know, should also be protected. She's a pilot. She has a right to say, I don't want to carry this passenger. I think that's part of our ICAO rules. So it's a Kwaman trying to overrule ICAO regulations. But what is important at the end of the day is that, you know, the Ministry of Aviation, NCAA, they said they are going to investigate, and investigations are ongoing. And whatever they come out with, there's nobody that is above the laws of Nigeria. Whether you are a bosom friend of the president or the Olori Omo Akile Ijebu or whatever, that's irrelevant. When it comes to aviation, where security is very important. And I think that people should speak off for Mrs. Oluranti Ogoyi, who became a full captain in 2021 and who has had experience in this regard. Her husband is even also a pilot. So all the investigations, you look at the circumstances that prevailed. But I know that in Nigeria, you know, they try to bury things. So Keyamo has shown courage. He must not chicken out, even if he receives pressure from the villa.